So today we are looking at the Mabox Linux 24.07. So here is the boot menu of the Mabox Linux. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. I'm going to choose the boot with open source drivers. So it's going to take like maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Usually all the Linux will consume that much of time in my laptop. So I'm running it on my VMware or the virtual machine with 60 GB of hard disk, 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is i5 1240p. So I'm going to mention how much of time it consumed after it boots up the desktop layout. So let's wait and see how much of time it consumes. So here we have the desktop layout. It took just a minute to load up, so it's a pretty good thing right now. So let's first change the display settings. So here you get all the information, X-Arch and all those things. I'm far away from the monitor so I can't properly see. So here is the CPU and RAM, all those things. So let's first quickly change the let's first open the task manager. So here is the task manager. So these are all the resources right now which are consuming. So let's go to the more details. So as you can see, CPU is almost 70% and the RAM is almost 500 MB. So the CPU is not pretty stable, but the RAM is almost lightweight. So let's check the about. Here is the LX task 0.1.10. I'm going to put the task manager in the right side corner so you can see all the changes throughout the video. So let's first open the internet browser. So here is the version, as you can see, Mabox Linux 24.07 is straight. So here you can install. Here is a quick navigation, Mabox tools. So again, these are all same as which are available in the previous version also. So let's first open the internet browser. Let's go to internet, Firefox web browser. So if you get any background noises, try to ignore that because people around my neighborhood try to make a lot of voice usually. So I'm going to keep video raw as possible. I'm going to put the raw video. I'm not going to edit most of the part. Not most of the part. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm just going to trim the booting process because it took like a minute. So that's the reason. So I'm going to just trim that part and I'm going to keep the video as much as possible raw. So you can get all the information and all the mistakes which I make. You can even find out that things. And if I speak anything wrong in between or I make a mistake, try to ignore that because it's a raw video. You can't so if you want to blame it, you can blame it. I don't have any issue with that. So let's click on the official website. Before that, you can just type in about support to get some of the information here. So you get the distro information and the browser information. So here is the information. You can just pause the video and read everything on your own. So I'm not going to read everything because it's going to make a video. Usually my videos will be 20+ minutes because showing the features and all those things, it consumes that much of time. So I don't want to make a video lengthy, more lengthy other than that. So window protocol, desktop environment. So these are all the information which is important. You can just pause video or you can change the playback speed to get all the information in a slow-mo. So keep an eye on the CPU and RAM throughout the video. So there is a 900 MB in the RAM and CPU is going down and up. So that was the information of about support or the distro and browser information. So let's close it. So here are the ISO files or the information of the Mabox Linux. So this is the website which is maboxlinux.org. So the latest release or the latest news was from December 2, 2023 in the news section. So I'm going to go in the news section and find we have any distro information. So right now there is no information of the latest version, but don't worry, I'm going to give the information of the latest release. So let's go to the blog. So we can get some of the information. What's new in Mabox 21? So this is also the old version. So let's go to the repositories. I'm going to give all the information in the description. You don't need to worry about that. So ISO file. There is also stable and testing folder also. You can go through all those things. So the live user is Mabox, password is Mabox, root password is Mabox. So here is the ISO file. Here is the version which is 24.07. So here is the kernel of 6.6 and here is the Linux kernel 6.1. You can go and download whatever you want here. So if you want to test, you can test it. So here is the ISO files. The file size is around 2.3 GB. So I'm going to close the browser because we pretty much covered everything there. So let me open the terminal. System, about Mabox Linux. Here is the about. So the wallpaper doesn't look properly installed. So I'm going to change the wallpaper so it will fix automatically. So the wallpaper should be in the left panel, I guess. Here we have the wallpapers, random wallpaper. So it fixed. So you can even change the theme if you want. So these are all the same things which I show in almost every video of the Mabox Linux. So let me all the above. So you can change according to your wish by clicking on all the above or the specific thing. So we can't even properly see right now. So let me change it again so we can see everything properly. So that is good. So I'm going to keep this panel color. So let me open the terminal which is here. Let's open the terminal. We already have the terminal, so I'm going to try to open another terminal if it's possible. So we have the same terminal, so I'm going to keep the terminal in the... So I'm going to put some of the commands here. We get the distro information. Let me try the neofetch. So here is the information. Just pause the video and read everything. INXI. So you have the CPU, kernel, storage information. INXI-b. You get the CPU, graphics, network, drives, all the information. INXI-G. INXI-F. cat /etc/issue. So here it is. So let's try the INXI-S8 which will grab complete distro information. So we got all the information here. So you can just pause the video and read it everything on your own. So let me close this. So let's go to the installation. Click on the install Mabox. So here is the application also on the taskbar. So I'm using a VPN, so that's the reason it's showing some random language. I think I was using Thailand server. So I'm going to keep the American English. About the Calamares installer 3.2.62-9 for Mabox Linux. Click on OK. Choose your language. There are plenty of languages available. Click on next. Choose the location. I think I choose the Bangkok location, Los Angeles, America, Los Angeles. That's because of the VPN. So the system language will be set to American English, United States. You can customize according to your wish, or else you can just keep it like that. The numbers and date locale will set to American English, United States. I'm going to keep it like that again. Click on next. Choose your keyboard model. Mine is Dell. The language, I'm going to keep it default. If you want, you can type here to test your keyboard. Click on next. and here you need to choose your hard disk. Again, before installing any type of operating systems or the Linux distro, whatever it is, so you need to get the information of how to install if you don't know. So if you are a pro user, you don't need to even know about any tutorials, but if you don't know how to install the Linux distro, you need to watch like 5 to 6 videos of different channels and go with the installation. So there was also tutorials in my videos, but I don't properly remember in which video I made the installation in the virtual disk or the hard disk, because I covered almost like a 3000 videos of every type of Linux distros. So it's pretty hard to find out or point out in which Linux distro I installed those installation tutorials. So that's the reason. So here is the single boot option, because this option will delete the current operating system or delete all the files, and it's going to install the Mabox Linux. And here is the dual boot option or the manual partitioning. You can install the Mabox Linux along with the current operating system. I don't recommend you to do the dual boot because most of the cases or most of the things which I heard about dual booting were negative. So I'm not pretty sure, because I just tried for 1 month. I didn't face any bugs or anything like that, but people say dual booting has some issues. So you need to get some information about that things if you are trying to dual boot. But you are trying to install, if you try to install on the VirtualBox or virtual machine or VMware, whatever the virtualization or virtual things, applications, it's pretty much okay to install, because you can create and you can install, you can create the virtual disk after deleting. So it's clearly you can install it on the virtual machines. So if you're trying to install, you can do that on the virtual machines, but if you try to live boot, you can even do that. When you consider installing on the hard disk, try to get the information and don't try to install randomly or without knowing, because it's going to erase everything. So that's the reason. So here is the encryption. You can provide the password, which should be same in both the boxes. If you don't want, you just uncheck the button. And bootloader location, you can choose the defaults, or you can do that later if you choose the do not install a bootloader. It's clearly up to you. Click on next, and here you have the username, password, all those things. Let me try to type in random things. So if everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark beside the boxes, and you need to choose your username for the computer and all those things, password. So again, this is same type of installation you get in all the operating systems, so there is nothing complicated here. Sometimes you get the desktops option, like a desktop environment options, but in this case you don't get any of this. So sometimes like in some Linux distros like Arch Linux, not the exact Arch Linux, the Arch Linux with GUI, so they are called like something like a Calm Arch Linux. I already made a lot of videos of Calm Arch Linux. It's not a Arch Linux, but it's Arch Linux with a GUI. So there is a difference. It's not an Arch Linux, it's an Arch Linux based Linux distro. So in that you get the GUI and other desktop environments. Even the Endeavour OS has the desktop environments, like a 7 to 8 desktop environments. You know what I'm talking about. So let's get back to the installation. So after clicking on next, you get the summary of whatever you choose in the installation, like a previous installation steps. So if everything is going good, you need to click on install. It's going to take like a maybe 20 or 25 minutes. Depends upon your PC and whether the ISO file is stable. So if it's a beta version or the development version ISO file, it's going to take more or less. If it's a stable, it should be way lesser than the development or the beta version. So even if you have the stable ISO file, it depends also on the system. So if you have a high-end PC, it should be quick. If you have a low-end PC, it should be taking a bit of time there. So I'm not going to install because I need to make another video. So already a video is available on the in my channel. So if you want to check that out, you can check it out, which is Nova Linux from the Cuban. I already made a video. So I said I was a bit sleepy in that video, so there is some mistakes in the video. Try to ignore it, or else you can just point it out in the comment section. So I'm going to close the installer. So I think we pretty much covered the basic things. So again, these are all the same things which you see in every Mabox Linux previous version also. So there is nothing new in the panels or anything. So you get same wallpapers, maybe a few added, but there is no release note or anything. I'm going to provide all those release notes in the description as soon as I found all those things. So in the right side panel you get all these options like a Mabox config, system and hardware, update, PMAC and all those things. So let's see what are the pre-installed applications you get in this Linux distro, and the accessories you get all those things in the development, in the graphics and the multimedia, internet, other, the settings, so some of the settings, and the system, software, beta plus, so installation. So you get the basic applications, not the bloatware applications or anything like that. You just get the basic applications and some basic settings from the Mabox Linux. So it's pretty much lightweight to be called, and the ISO file should be around 3 GB. So everything is going good, there is no lag or any crashes or anything like that. So I'm going to do a stress test right now, because to find out whether this Linux distro is suitable for a normal user for day-to-day tasks. So the main objective of the stress test is to open applications like I open like a 15 to 20 applications. I do this test in every Linux distro, so you can watch in my channel. So I open like a 15 to 20 applications to see whether it crashes or if we have any bugs or anything errors like that. So if we find any bugs or crashes or anything applications error, so we can say it, or we can get an idea whether to use that Linux distro or the specific Linux distro version. So we can download the previous versions or the stable version or we wait for the stable version. So that's the answer you get from the stress test. You can't really depend on the stress test, but you can also you can also see the whether it's a stable ISO file or the we have like any lag in while moving the applications or anything like that. You should consider all those things and try to use this Linux distro or not. You can judge it on that things. So you can't judge only on the stress test. You should see all the whether there is a lag while using the Linux distro or it's consuming a lot of CPU, RAM, all those things. You need to consider all those things and you need to judge on the Linux distro. So that's let's stop all those things and let's open random applications. So we need to open like a bit of resource consuming applications so we can get an idea. So CPU went up to 100%. You just need to ignore because we opened all the applications at once. So that's the reason it's consuming that much of resources. So let me open some of, so we need like a heavy resource consuming applications like a Blender, maybe the Thunderbird, Firefox, Chrome. If we had all those applications, we can open and get the information. Let me open what are the available applications in the Mabox Linux. So we don't have anything in the accessories. You don't even have anything in the accessories because those are some basic text editors and all those things. So we need to go to the graphics. You don't even have anything here. So multimedia, you don't have the Audacity, but we need to open some applications here. Multimedia, volume icon, media player, let's open that. And under the internet, we already opened the Firefox web browser. Let me open this web browser also. And under others, Espanso, I don't know what it is. Let's open. Under settings, we don't have anything here. Let's open the control center. What else we have here? Nothing. Under system, so we pretty much opened everything which is available or the resource consuming applications. So let's get back to the task manager and see how much of resources it consumes. So there is nothing to open in this distro because there is no GIMP and all the basic things which consumes resources. You get the normal things in this Linux distro. So in order to make a stress test, you need to have like a bunch of applications which consumes a lot of resources. But in this case, there is no resource consuming applications. So it's pretty much hard, but whatever we had, we opened those much of applications. Let's try to switch the applications. As you can see, there is no lag or anything like that. So that's pretty much good work done by the Mabox Linux. So I can switch applications from last, and I can go with the first and even the middle. Let's get to the first again. So as you can see, there is no lag or anything like that. Everything is working properly. So this is a stabilizer file also. So everything is working fine. There is no lag or anything like that. So if you consider trying to test this Linux distro, try it on your own if you want, or else you can just skip this part and skip this Linux distro and go with the Manjaro Linux if you want. So it's clearly up to you. So if you want to try to test it on the virtual machine, you can try to test it on the virtual machines. So if you consider to install on the main PC or work PC, so you need to get some of the information. I'm not going to recommend any type of the Linux distros because I don't know what are the requirements of your PC and what you need to use. So it's clearly up to you to judge whether to use this Linux distro or not. I'm just going to check all the applications information and end the video here. So per Mac you get this version. Here are the applications, home folder, the network, devices. You can check out the file systems. You can even customize, edit, preference. So it's clearly up to you to customize all those things. I'm going to close this thing. So the installer, which I already showed. So Espanso version 2.2.1. The codes, do you want to visit all those things? Let me close it. So the Firefox web browser, we already saw the version. So here is the version of AWS 4.3.1. So here is the control center. You can customize according to wish. Panel, menu and side panels, auto start, look and feel. Here are the themes, Mabox theme manager, colorizer, Conky. You can edit the Conky, compositor, system and help. Here are the monitors, info, neofetch, kernel. So it's clearly up to you to customize all those things. So I already made a lot of videos on the Mabox Linux, so I don't want to make anything more in this video because there is nothing. It's not a stable or it's not the major release or anything like that. It's just a point update, so that's the reason I'm trying to keep the video short as possible. If it was the major release, I'm going to give all the information. But even it's a short point release, I pretty much covered everything. So if I forgot anything, do let me know in the comment section. So if you want to watch another video after this, you can watch my another video, which is Nova Linux. So here are all the installed applications. Here are the versions of the applications, which is highlighted with the blue box. Let me scroll it down. You can just pause the video and get all the information of the specific applications. So here are the updates. So the ISO file was released a few days ago, so I made a video right now. So it should be having some updates maybe. So it's still checking for 22%. So let's wait. So here is the refresh database, view history, install local packages, preference. So it's going to take a time here because it's checking in the background, so that's the reason. So here is the workspace. Task Manager. So here we have some of the updates. The browser has update which is 128. I think this is the latest version of the Firefox. So we have like a 80 MB of update, and here are some of the customization. You can third party, enable or support, general. So it's clearly customizable. So let me close it. So I'm going to end the video. So this is the system resource at the end of the video. So you can judge on your own whether to use this Linux distro or not. So it consumed 2 GB of RAM after opening all the applications which is given by the Linux distro, which is from Mabox Linux. So if you installed like Blender, GIMP and all the bit of resource consuming applications, it should be more or less RAM and the CPU. So I have a 12th generation CPU, so you need to keep that in mind whether it will handle in your Linux distro. So if you have like a low-end PC, you should be like if you have like a 1 GB of RAM, it should be a bit of lag, I think, because I don't properly exactly say what it is, because I don't have 1 GB of RAM in my PC. I'm using 8 GB of RAM, and my CPU is 1240p, which is the latest CPUs. The latest is the 14th gen, but we have still the latest CPU. So it's pretty much working stable, and we didn't face anything in the video. So if you have like a older PC or the 1 GB of RAM and the CPU is like a maybe dual core Pentium like that, it should be a bit of lag in that. So you need to test it on your own if you want to get the exact information. So I'm saying everything on which worked on my PC. So I'm going to say all those things are my final thoughts depending on my PC. So it was pretty much smooth working. There was no any lag or any crashes or any issues in my PC. So you need to test it on your own to get the exact information. But if you have the latest hardware, you should be working good. So if you want the system requirements, you can just go to their official website, or you can search in the Google. So that was the video of Mabox Linux 24.07. I'm going to end the video here. So let's go to the logout screen. So again, thanks for watching. Peace out.